for joining that mom show. Today, I'm gonna have you guys introduce yourselves again. I'm sorry.
I'm Kayla. I'm 14. I'm a freshman in high school.
I'm Keagan, and I'm 13. I'm in 8th grade.
I'm Ashley, and I'm in 8th grade too.
Wow, you guys, I remember 8th grade, and I'm just very impressed with you three. I've been watching your guys' stuff for a while. And let me just kind of read this intro that I have for you guys. What started as a school project is now a simple mission for these three young, driven kids. Give young entrepreneurs a voice. Kids and teens are often overlooked and not taken seriously. And these three came up with an idea that would change the game and help other young entrepreneurs feel supported and on the right track when starting their business. So it's my honor to introduce you guys to Kid.Everest. Thank you guys for joining me.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having us.
Yeah. Really, you guys are my entire reason why. Like my son is my reason why, but I know everybody's core reason why is their kids. And we're just hoping that our kids are, happy and healthy, and that they'll come to their parents and talk to them, when they want to start projects like this, or when they're having problems in school or in their personal life. It's really weird being a parent. So I feel like I really created Mom Show because I feel like when we start with the parents, that kind of trickles down the line to our kids. So I'm just going to pick on you guys a little bit. You guys have parents. How are your parents? Are they your role models? What is that like at home? And we'll just go Kayla, Keagan, and then start. Yeah.
So we were very fortunate enough to have very supportive parents and to have parents that are really knowledgeable in the field of entrepreneurship. Our mom had her own website and business helping teach kids on the spectrum and their parents and how to deal with that. So she really was the one who helped us get a web developer and start it up and the legal aspect of it. So we understood what we were doing before we really just hopped into it. But otherwise than that, our parents are super supportive of what we do, and we're really fortunate for
that. Nice. Okay, Keagan, same answer, or excuse me, question. Oh my gosh, I can't talk today.
Well, so yeah, our mom helped us the most through this process because she's been through this process. So she helped us get where we are today, helped us talk to other lawyers and people that knew more about what we were starting up. And yeah.
I just agree with both of them. We have a really supportive family that just helps us a lot.
Nice. And so you guys aren't sisters, right?
We are.
You are? Okay. I thought you guys were all friends. Oh, wow. You guys are sisters, which, that's the closest friendship there really is right there.
that.
Yeah. So what is it like working with each other and living with each other? How do you keep that balance?
So it's really actually brought us closer together as a family because we've learned how to work well together. And it's also a lot easier because you don't have to plan times to meet up. We can all just be oh, you're off your Zoom, you're on your lunch break. Let's just work on this, or let's go do this meeting real quick. It's really fun to be working with your sisters.
That'd be so fun. My sister actually has her own business, and yeah, sometimes we're it'd be so fun to work together. And then sometimes she's like, no, I want to do my own thing. And that's okay too. But what a neat thing. Cause my sister's my favorite person in the whole world. So I just think that's really neat. Yeah. I thought you guys were friends. That's cool. So wait, you two are both in 8th grade, you said?
Yeah, we're twins.
Oh, neat. Okay. That's how that worked out. Cool. Well, okay, I'm getting sidetracked. So obviously your mom's a huge influence for this. Did you guys ever do anything before, or actually, hang on, let me backtrack. This was a school project. How did this start? What school project was it? What was your aha moment?
Yeah, so our school project, our teacher told us to come up with an idea that could help the world or change it, and we were really entrepreneurial. As kids, we were always selling stuff out of our lockers. We'd all be making slime, and then sell it around the school or like buy fidget spinners and then resell them for more. Like we were always coming up with something to do. So, and we realized that there was no like place for kids to have like their voices like shared with people. And like we were very fortunate to have our parents fund all of our business ideas. And but we realized that not a lot of kids do have that, so we thought of this idea to give kids a voice and help them start up their business ideas, because we know that kids are so creative and we really wanted to help them out. And our teacher was like, "That's a great idea, but like that's way too big. Like it's gonna be so hard to do that." So then in school, we actually just did like a bake sale for like the SPCA or something. But then outside of school, since he was like, "That's way too big," it really made us want to do it more. So we just really pushed our idea. We talked to a bunch of people, did a lot of research, and got it started.
I'm so dramatic. Like hearing that part, I was like, that makes me want you guys to succeed more and kind of be like, haha, look what we did. So that's really neat. And I love that you guys are humble enough to think about that, because I run into a lot of kids that they don't really know how fortunate they are to be living where they are, um, or even have the resources that they do. And sometimes myself, like just yesterday, I found myself in traffic, and I was stuck in traffic for, I'm already an hour away from my house and I've been working all day. And so I was like, oh, great, this is another half hour. And before I got, too ungrateful, I was like, let's just listen to an audiobook. Like, what a crazy life that we live, that I get to sit in a nice heated car and listen to an audiobook, like, and in a good car. Some cars don't even have that ability. So it's really crazy when we get that perspective that we're always kind of living someone else's dreams. And especially at the age that you guys are at, because obviously you're not able to fund yourself. So it does come a lot of reliant on your parents. But if my kids were this thankful and humble about the situation, I'd be supporting them every step of the way too. So I just think, yeah, I love your guys' idea.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's awesome, girls. Really, really, truly. So tell me about your slime. How did
So pretty much that was probably one of our smaller just like business ideas. We were always like finding things to sell and things to do on the weekend. And we had like this sort of slime business where we'd all make slime at home, then we'd sell it like out of our locker at school. It was super popular. And that kind of formed into like other ideas, like buying the most popular toy at that moment from like really cheap in bulk and then selling it for higher prices just to make that money gap, right? And then we could use that money to buy more merchandise or more things to sell. So it was kind of like a never ending loop where we just sell stuff and then buy more stuff to sell with it.
Yeah.
And that was actually how we raised the money to start up Kid.Everest, or to pay for the web development. We had a lemonade stand just down the street from our house, and that's really where it starts. We never really because there wasn't really an option for us to crowdfund or make money on our own. So we kind of did it ourselves and got it started up.
Yeah, yeah. And so tell me, because a lot of people don't even know what crowdfunding is. So I'll have you guys explain it to them if that's okay.
Yeah. So crowdfunding is a way for you to get money from a crowd of people. People, if they like see your campaign, like say on like Kickstarter, GoFundMe, all of those platforms, our platform, they'll like read your like bio, your campaign, what it's about, and they'll donate the money to you because they're interested. Like they're basically investing in you, but it's a really good way to start up your business because it's debt free. You don't have to worry about getting a loan from the bank, and it's a really good way to start up your idea that you just want to see where it goes.
Yeah, yeah. And a lot of, we see this, I think crowdfunding is so important for community. Because when you're doing a business, and as you guys know, I feel like there's like fulfillment, like there's certain roles in everything that you need, and everybody fulfilling these roles then make, the bigger picture. So with that said, one of my favorite crowdfunding things that I've known in my local area is called United Way, and United Way will take the donations and then disperse it with uh, nonprofits in the community. And the way that they do that is they go in and they ask the employer at your employer location, hey, do you guys want to donate $5 out of your paycheck? And it's going to go to kids who need school lunches or kids that need school backpacks. And so it's a really neat way to not take too much, but also it's not assistance, coming from the government or something. It's just kind of a help. So I love that's what you guys are doing. I won't get into my story too much, but I didn't have supportive parents like this that could afford to help anything. And I remember entrepreneurship, at least to me, in my opinion, and in some stories that I've heard, it's kind of just born in you. Like I found myself coloring pages, and I didn't even know this is door-to-door sales at the time, but I'm going door to door and I'm knocking and I'm asking them, will they pay 25 cents for a coloring page? And that's something, until I got to Girl Scouts, I didn't even understand what sales were. I didn't understand that it was helping me, be less shy or anything like that. So anyways, I just think you guys are great. And it sounds like your entrepreneurship started just kind of naturally. And now you guys are even interviewing other businesses. And so I wanted to ask you guys, out of the businesses that you've interviewed, and I want to go, I'm trying to tell myself I'm good with names, because if you keep saying you're bad with names, I feel like you're always going to stay bad with names. So I'm going to say I'm good with names. Let me do this again. Ashley's over here. Okay. So we're going to start with Ashley and then go the other way. So what was your favorite business that you've interviewed so far that really stuck with you?
I liked when we interviewed this girl named Mallory, and her business was like People Pops, and she would make like these toys for like kids, and they had their own like stories and like life planned out. And I just thought it was really cool that someone at such a young age could make stuff like that.
How old was she?
Like 8.
I think she's 9 now.
9.
Was she 8 when she started it?
Yeah, I think so. So around that age, it's still, I don't even know the exact age, but still starting that young is just crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Okay, so I really liked everyone's ideas, because it was really cool to see like such young kids, like even younger than us, be so passionate about what they're trying to start up. And they all had super great ideas, and it was really cool to see. But there was this one girl who was on the spectrum, and she like colored to used colors and paintings and stuff to help express her feelings, and she made her own book about like quarantine in 2020 and how she got through it, and it was really cool to see. She actually sent us her book, and it was amazing to see how she became like a published author, and that was really amazing.
Yeah, that's a really cool documentation. And especially when you go through it, tip of, advice for anyone listening. When you're going through it, you can't really get those moments back. And we have the ability to document so much. And so it's really interesting to watch us grow through that process. But I like that it sounds like, because quarantine, everything nowadays, it's kind of dark, but at the same time, it has a light twist to it, if we can put that on there. So I like that. It sounds like she made something very beautiful out of the situation.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think we've come across a lot of really amazing businesses that we've had the opportunity to talk to and learn from. My favorite would probably have to be these two sisters. Their businesses, DeBomb Bath Fizzers. They're pretty famous now. They're in like a lot of local stores like Walmart and Target, and big businesses, big corporations like that. And we had the opportunity to talk to them. And I think why they're my favorite was that they're very similar to us. They started the same age as us. They're both sisters. So we really got to talk to them about what worked and what didn't work and kind of learn from them because they've been through the exact same situation as us. So I think that's what helped us a lot was learning firsthand from two girls our age or that were our age in the exact same situation.
You guys are so wise. Like really. I love that you said that. I mentioned this to someone the other day, and I said whenever I was learning something, I would purposely look up the bad parts about it, like what somebody else did to fail. Why did that business go out of business? So that's a really good analogy, and they're sisters, so that's good because you guys are gonna yeah, you're always gonna have that sisterly friend bond, but the business, like I'm sure that's always, and it's gonna look different as you guys get older because obviously, you're in 8th grade now, you're in high school now, and then you're not always gonna be there. One day you guys will be in your 20s, and one day you'll be in your 30s, and you'll be different people, but you will actually that sounds you'll be different people, but you'll still be the same people, but you'll still be sisters, if that all makes sense. And I'm just
Yeah.
excited to watch your guys' journey as you go through this. So next question, because I just got a few over here. Okay, what is something that your parents taught you that really helped you prepare for what you're doing now? Like besides like the lawyer stuff and besides like the stuff not to get you sued, that's all important. But um what is something like, does your mom do like a morning routine, or is she super positive, or like what is something that you feel like your parents have done? And we'll just go left to right.
What's yours?
Oh,
Oh, sorry.
I think, well, our parents are very positive and supportive, like we said before. So that helps us like get motivated and keep wanting to work on our thing. And she like helps us schedule our meetings to make sure that like it's all on time and we're all prepared for it, which is really helpful. And yeah, that helped us out a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so another thing is they are very positive people and supportive, but they're always telling us to never give up and always like explore like into things that you want to do. If we have like a sport or like an instrument that we want to play or whatever it is, they're very supportive and they'll help us like start up what we want to try it, like new things that we want to try. They're always helping us get into that and all of that. So
Yeah, I agree with Keegan and Ashley, but I think like a very important attribute that they've kind of unknowingly taught us over the years is patience in what we believe in and patience in what we're doing. Like we know that if we as soon as we started the business, there's not going to be like 15 people all crowding in at the same time. We had to sort of be patient with it and know that we have to push to do it. Like we're in charge of how our business is going. We can either make it better or worse for ourselves by learning new things or meeting new people and getting more people on there. So I think patience is just a really important thing that they taught us.
Yeah. Oh, you guys are so wise. I love everything about you three. Your parents, I don't know if they're around or if they can hear me right now, but you guys are, as a team, you guys all do really well. This all sounds super, I just love your mindset. Mindset is huge. And you've got to take care of your mind. You got to take care of your schedule. You have to be organized. So like Ashley said, that's super important, getting to all your meetings on time and making sure that you show up. One of my favorite quotes is, you can be uncomfortable, but you still have to show up. And that was a really hard one for me to learn for a while because I don't like it. Who likes to go in uncomfortable situations?
Yeah, definitely. I know that we personally had that happen to us firsthand, and our mom was really supportive of us to keep pushing. Like if we had to go to like a meeting that we didn't want to, or like a meeting at like super early in the morning, like we were like, oh, I really just don't want to do this. And she's like, yes, you do. You got it. It's for your business. You can do it, and things like that. It's just, I think it was also hard for us to learn that like everything that we do is helping us in the long run.
Yeah. Well, it's so easy to get lost in the lifestyle nowadays and social media and TV and things. It's a lot easier to be lazy and just think that things are going to work out, especially when you're a kid and your parents are taking care. I mean, you guys don't have to pay rent, I'm assuming, you know. So I I think they, especially at your age, it's definitely easier to just be like, "Yeah, I'm not going to do that." And your parents aren't going to kick you out and be like, "How dare you not be an entrepreneur? Like how dare you not want to start your own business?" It sounds like your parents are fully supportive in whatever you guys would do. But I'm very proud of you guys for, yeah, staying on the mindset and being organized and being receptive to that feedback, because you're not always going to be motivated. We can be unmotivated when we don't have a good night's sleep, or maybe dark thought, maybe something happened to a family member or an animal, like that's the bigger picture. And those are the times that we really save up our energy to be drained. But other than that, I think it's important to stay consistent and stay thankful, and keep that positive mindset. So is there anything particularly, like, your mom or dad, like, do they follow like a particular, because I seen this thing, and I don't know if you guys were on Gary V. It says on your website Gary V, but I couldn't find the interview. But I'm kind of interested. How was that? What happened with that?
So we actually like sent in like a video question sort of thing, and then he like responded to it.
Okay.
It was a really cool to see his response though, like to our question, because there's a million people that probably asked a question and he answered ours. And I think our question was like, how do we get adults to take us seriously as kids? And he was like, well, you something of the sort, like, well, you can't really. You just have to keep pushing and talk to the adults that want to help you and want to get your business started.
Yeah, one of the things that he said in that same post, like he made a post on his Instagram answering that question. And one thing that really stuck me that he said was that you have to focus on the one adult, or the one person that's going to support you and say yes to your idea, opposed to the 1,000 that are going to say no, because that one person is going to be more important in the long run than those 1,000 negative people.
Yeah, it's so true. And we can look at the history of a lot of good artists, a lot of good businesses, a lot of good historians that has been, not everybody with a big beautiful dream was always supported when they were doing that. So very important. Um, Man, so you guys are just great. I kind of want to dig into what is life like at home, because obviously you guys were itty bitty guys at one time. You were itty bitty babies. So how did we get this? Did your parents always kind of have like a like chore chart organization type of thing, or do you feel like, I don't know, how did the structure at home work to develop these three wise women that we have in front of me?
Well, kind of like you pointed out, I think that you're born with the like an entrepreneurship mindset. And actually, I just remember like being super young and like having like almost like mini business fairs, or like ways to like make money at home. Like I know that we had like this thing called like Sunday Fun Day, and we would like make our own arcade games at home and have our parents like come in and buy stuff or like play the games. And then like I know that for some reason this was like so fun in my mind, was like making up chore charts and like finding ways to make money. It was just always so like interesting to us. So I think that's kind of where it first started. Was like we always just liked that mindset. We always liked.
And like when we got allowance, if our room was like cleaned for like a week, like after that week we would get like $3.
Nice. Yeah, that's kind of how I motivate my son now. We offer him $30 when he finishes a book. But it has to be like equivalent to like the first Harry Potter book. So about 13 chapters is what we're counting it. And then if he wants to do a book report on it, then we'll give him a little bit more. And then we pay him for good grades as he comes home with good grades. Because I'm just trying to think, like, first of all, life's getting expensive, so it's getting a little weird. But I also honor him, so he time blocks and he keeps his room straightened up. So of course, like I feel like reward systems are huge. So it sounds like your mom kind of kept, not really told you to stay organized or whatnot, but like encouraged when you were
Yeah.
doing. Cool. Ugh, wise. I love it. So, and I also have this other theory, and I mentioned this before we started recording. Um, but I kind of want to do two things to this. So I feel like moms a lot of the times don't feel like they're doing the best job, or they're a little stressed out. Um, and they take it a little hard on themselves here and there. And so what's something, a message that you guys have to your mom about what she's doing, what she's doing right, and how much you appreciate her?
Well, we all appreciate her very much. She's been a huge help with us. Um, it's just I would say thank you to her for everything that she has helped us done, because if she hasn't been so supportive and helped us through the starting of our business, then it wouldn't be where it is today.
Yeah, I think one of the things I would tell her is just like, look where we're at now. Like, look where you got us this far. And like, without her, I don't even like, I would really wonder where we would be without her. Like, if we would even have a business in the first place, if we would be entrepreneurs at all. Just things like that. It's kind of weird to think in retrospect of where we are now.
Yeah, I agree with Kayla because without her, we would have had harder trouble talking to like lawyers and like getting out to like bigger people.
Mhm. Yeah, because I feel like you guys, because again, I feel like I see a lot of myself in you, and I I didn't have a healthy mom at the time. My mom was going through a lot of trauma. My mom was going through a lot of necessary things that she kind of had to go through, that was really heavy. And now as an adult, I understand why she couldn't be there for me the way that I would have wished her to be there for me. Um, but yeah, you guys were gonna figure it out eventually. Like, there's no way this like your guys' spark and ambition, there's no way that you wouldn't have figured out something in the future. But it's just so incredible to see what good parenting has done, and that you have it in high school and you have it in junior high. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Well, and you guys, like, I mean, like, great parents, like, yes, but it comes down to you two. This is not just like, your mom did this. You, again, you could tell your mom, hey mom, I really want to be a doctor, and I want to go to school for a bunch of years, and she's going to support you doing that. But it's really neat that you guys, again, have all this support to do whatever. And to other parents listening, I actually think entrepreneurship, um, we start those little campaign, not, maybe they're called campaigns. Yeah. Funding campaigns where we sell the candy bars and stuff at the school. I think entrepreneurship, in a sense, even with chore charts, is a good starting point for kids just to learn responsibility. So even if you guys in the future, you're like, I don't want to be on camera anymore, I don't want to do this anymore, maybe you're like, I want to be a real estate agent, like, this is what I'm going to do going forward. That's so fine, because I think, and I don't know if you guys would agree, but you've learned a lot of skills now that will forever help you professionally in the future. So do you guys feel confident doing like more school things now that you have all this sort of experience? Do you feel like that carries on into your school life?
Yeah, I definitely think there's a lot of good like attributes that we've learned from the business world that I take over into other things such as school. Like time management is really important in business, and scheduling all my meetings or all of our meetings, and making sure that we have enough time in the day to do these things. And that really helps me with schoolwork, obviously, because then I could get more things done in a certain amount of time, or to schedule a time to sit down and do it. Another thing that I think it's taught me is for like presentations at school, it's a lot easier. I think all of us are a lot more confident in speaking in front of people and just speaking in front of like cameras in general, because it's all online now, anyways. But I think there's a lot of things that can be learned through the business world, and there's a lot that it's taught us.
Yeah. So again, I just have so many things I just want to pick your guys' brain with, but I won't keep you on for too long. I do want to kind of point out that yeah, you mentioned that speaking more confidently in school. Was there a time that you guys remember not being confident to do a presentation like that?
Definitely when I first started in middle school, sixth grade, um, I was very like shy because it was a new school from elementary school and I didn't have many friends. I didn't know many people. So it was hard. But then once we started up our business, started talking to more people and more interviews and things, it kind of helped me like open up more, um, be less shy to answer like questions in math class or whatever it was, a presentation. Um, so yeah, it's definitely helped. And there was times where um, I was shy, but then our business helped me like open up to more people.
And so you guys would describe yourselves as shy in those moments. Do you feel, and just kind of knowing each other as sisters, um, do you feel like that's the same way you are at home? Like, do you feel like your sisters were shy?
Definitely not.
Yeah, I think our school personalities and our personalities at home are totally different. We do like much more like our comfort level at school and at home are way different, so our shyness levels would be different as well. But I think they're starting to close in that gap a little bit more and just becoming more of just one like one personality or one sort of shyness level that like we're sort of growing into not being that way anymore.
Yes. Yes. I have this, and this will lead us into our final question. So I have this theory that the world kind of takes from us as we grow older. I feel like we're all kind of, we all remember sketching. We all remember singing and dancing and being all crazy. And um, being a kid is one of the best times. It's when your imagination is the most alive, in my opinion. And I feel like the world sometimes does a decent job at chipping at that. Maybe a kid at school makes fun of us, or a boy says they don't like us, or something. I don't know. Something just kind of slowly chips away, and it shouldn't. It doesn't mean that it was right to chip away at us. But sometimes that happens, and then we grow up and we're like, oh, we can't achieve our dreams. Oh, we should just only keep this type of job, or we should just do this. And a lot of people lose sight of that they wanted to be a singer when they grow up, or they wanted to be, something that they dreamed of forever. And a lot of the times they give up on their dreams. So I think it's kind of neat to ask you that question, because again, I don't feel like you said, like your school and your home personality, I feel like where you're comfortable, like that is who you truly are. Because if everybody at school could slowly get to know you, and we can't fathom that. Realistically, we can only fathom maybe like 100 people in our lives that we can like think and care constantly about. It's really overwhelming to like imagine sending out 1,000 thank you cards to people every birthday, every single Christmas. It would be really overwhelming to do as humans. Um, but I want to hear what your guys' advice is to your future self before the world does whatever it's gonna do. I just think that you guys are so wise, and I want you to remember how incredible you are. So just what would you tell yourself for the future?
Okay, I'll start. I would tell my future self to pursue what you love, do what you want to do, and what you're passionate about, and be grateful for what you have then, what you did have, um, and be grateful for the friends and family that you're gonna have then, and that will support you in whatever your new journey will be.
Love it.
I agree with Keegan, and also to like keep pushing and never give up. Like when things get tough or like there's challenges, but to like overcome them and grow from them.
Yeah.
I think mine would be to stay confident or just be confident in what you know. Like, I know right now I'm not at the confidence level that I would want to be, even though I know what I'm talking about. So I think when I'm older, I would just want to be confident in what I'm saying because I know the stuff and I just need to portray it like I do.
Yes. Yes. You guys stay confident. That's my piece of advice. Stay confident, because I think it's so funny when people are like, "Oh, she's so full of herself," or "Oh, this." If somebody has that thought about you, why would you ever be disgusted by somebody loving themselves? Like,
Exactly.
there's a fine line of thinking, you're better than people, but loving yourself, like it's okay to have an ego. Ego isn't bad. Having a bad ego is bad, but having an ego and believing in yourself and being confident, and you should think that you're beautiful. You should think, and silly, I don't know if you guys do this. I hate my voice. And I'll tell that to myself sometimes. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to hear my voice anymore. But why? It's just a voice. It's just, so be confident with everything you guys have. I think you guys are great.
Thank you.
Well, I actually want to ask, okay, I said that was my last question, but I did warn you that this kind of gets a little loose. So I will ask you guys, what is your advice to an entrepreneur just kind of having that imposter syndrome? Because I feel like sometimes we know, like, oh, I want to make bracelets, or I want to make earrings. But they just are probably more afraid of what people are going to think, and if they're even going to buy, than them just be happy making and fulfilling. So what would be your advice to someone kind of on that edge of starting something? We'll go Ashley, and then on.
Like I said, for the advice to my future self, probably just to never give up. And if you have like an idea, don't give up on it, and always give it your 100%, and like just keep going.
Yeah, and I'll say, if it's something you're really truly passionate about, then you should always pursue it, because there's always, or do some research, like, do like whatever you're making, like, do they need this, or like, I think this would be like cool, like, or a bracelet, I think this would be really pretty for people. um and do some market research, like where you can best sell your stuff, or where you can talk to more people to get it started.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with both of them. And also, the one that I always put out to say is to stay curious. Always ask questions from people that are more knowledgeable. You could always learn something. No matter how well you think you know the topic, there's always more to learn.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, right on the money. Always. I don't care how old you are, especially if you're listening to this, you're probably here to get some sort of education or insight. And keep learning. That is amazing. And something that I want adults to realize, you guys live in a world that we didn't live in. And you guys live in a world that my grandparents didn't live in. So where else can I learn these things if not from young entrepreneurs and these teens and these young college students that grown-ups don't take seriously sometimes, and they don't listen to their stories, and we need to, and we need to connect more.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for doing this interview today. Super neat idea, you guys. So we will have all of their information linked below, and support them, support other people. And do you guys know who Simon Sinek is?
No.
Okay, that's your next one. So my three favorite influencers are Gary Vaynerchuk, Simon Sinek, and Tom Bilyeu. And it's kind of funny that I chose all three men influencers. I swear, I love women. They're great. I'm friends with them too. But these are my three favorite influencers. And Simon Sinek talks a lot about getting lost in the service of others, and just how that's really how you live a fulfilled life, is helping other people. So I love that your guys' mission statement lies around that, and that yeah, you guys are gonna keep pushing on. And if you're okay with it, I'd love to talk to you like a year from now and just check in and see what you guys are doing.
Yeah, definitely.
definitely.
That'd be awesome.
Cool. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me today. You guys, if you're driving, listening, whatever, like I said, all their information is linked in the description. And yeah, we'll talk to you guys later.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much
for having us.
Thank you guys. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.